What's going on, Paisanos? V here, coming at you guys, well, with an update about the current situation we're in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, before I begin, I just want to say, guys, I did a podcast in which I discussed some of the things I discussed right now. It's been discussed in my podcast. Links to be down below. It's on Spotify and iTunes. You can check all that. Also want to give a special thanks to Aaron Gardner, who joined recently my Patreon. Thank you so much, and if you guys want to check that out as well, links will be down below. So, of course, the first thing we're going to talk about in this whole video, so I just want to give you an update of everything's happening now, what's going to be happening in the future as far as the next couple of events, and what is more than likely going to be happening up until National. Of course, I just want to really throw in, this is all speculation, this is all 100% speculative, but this is what I think is going to be happening. Based off what we've seen previously from Konami, based off what we see about the whole situation with this virus, and based off what's going to be happening as far as future set releases and events. So the first thing I just want to say is Dual Overload, the set that a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Players probably care about. I've been getting a lot of questions lately asking about Dual Overload, and is it a good set, is it a bad set, what's going to happen with this? I think Dual Overload was not screwed due to the virus. I think Dual Overload was screwed due to the set being released almost a month in advance. That is what's killing these prices. Let's just make no mistakes about it. Had the virus not been here, the value of these cards in Dual Overload would still be relatively bad. We're seeing a little bit of a jump of the value, by the way. Yu-Gi-Oh! Players are trying to pre-order the cards to have it available to themselves by this weekend. So this week, we will see a jump. The second it hits Friday, from Friday till next Wednesday of this upcoming week, the value of the cards in this set are going to tank heavily. We should soon have the short printed price points, so we'll know what's short printed, which might maintain a decent value, but nowhere near as what it would have been maintained had Konami didn't just allow us to have the cards fully released a month ahead. It's like getting Christmas presents a month ago and just waiting for it. It made no sense. It was really bad, and hopefully Konami doesn't make this mistake again. With that said, I am excited to see the cards a month before. I think we all are, but it did kill the value. The pre-orders are tanking the value of the cards, and we're gonna see that more and more and more up until the release date, in which everyone can tank the value of the cards. Something to keep into consideration, guys. So, and I'll talk about the end. I'll talk about what to buy near the end of this video as far as cards within the market. Up next, guys, we'll talk about regionals. We see a ton of regional cancellations. Konami announced that they're canceling all regionals. I believe it was until April 11th. All regionals are canceled. And yeah, this makes sense. This is perfectly on bounds of what they're doing. Now, I felt like Konami should have screened Yu-Gi-Oh! Players, and they couldn't screen Yu-Gi-Oh! Players. Then this would have been the unnecessary alternative that they have to take, and that's what we're seeing here right now. So let's talk about events happening. Actually, before I want to talk about events, I want to say some of you guys are commenting to me, and if yours is, comment down below. Some of your locals are just not opening due to this virus. And if it's your locals, comment down below and let me know. I want to know how many locals, you know, the names, but how many locals are just not opening their doors due to the virus. I would just love to know. It's something really interesting. I don't know, something really, really crazy. Okay, so the next big event we have is the Eternity Code premiere. That's more than likely going to be the next big event. And I feel like Eternity Code is going to happen, and here's why. The virus at events like YGOPaisano Hartford and YGOPaisano North Carolina, these events that we should have had but obviously got postponed, which is another way of saying it's gonna get canceled, but they don't want to say canceled because of the stock market. I'll talk about that in a minute. Eternity Code will more than likely happen, being the fact that it is going to be a store level event. Now, all stores, OTS stores that are huge, might not do it. But an average OTS store with holding, let's say, like 20 players or 30 players will more than likely carry this event. They've already purchased more than, once again, this is my speculation as an ex-store owner, purchased the Eternity Code product. Konami already has those sales in their system, and they're not going to take another bad hit. The stock quote of Konami is relatively low, and I'll show you guys later on in this video, but it's really, really bad. So Eternity Code is going to fire off. This will happen, 100%, guys. Okay? I don't think there's no way ifs, ands, or buts about it. After that, I'm gonna go TCG player events in the United States. I don't know Konami, Spanish Konami. I don't know Konami Europe. I don't know 100% South America Konami. Anyway, I don't even know Konami within the TCG within the United States. YCS Pasadena will more than likely be postponed. It's another nice, once again, it's another nice way of saying it's gonna be closed. Look at the public events tab right now in YCS Pasadena Convention Center. The Yu-Gi-Oh! Event is still scheduled to be planned. also looking in the Los Angeles Times, California officials are calling for the gathering of 250 more people to show. Now, the only benefit you have towards YGOPaisano Pasadena actually firing off is going to be if this virus was to, or the situation for the banning of large public scale events just cool down. Because everywhere is having bannings of large scale public events or large gatherings, I should really say, of people. And this trend continues and makes its way over to California, you more than likely will not legally be able to hold YGOPaisano Pasadena. Just like we saw with YGOPaisano Hartford, Connecticut, since you cannot have a certain amount of players, a certain amount of people in a large area, events have to be canceled. That's why we don't have Hartford, Connecticut. And that's more than likely why we're more than likely not have YGOPaisano Pasadena in California. Now let's talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! Nationals. So May 23rd, 24th was YGOPaisano Pasadena. We'll probably get news about it not happening within, I want to say, luckily, hopefully, 2 weeks before. The Paisanos in South America are not happy, understandably, going to pre-register for YGOPaisano this past weekend. And then after the event being told the event's canceled is insane. But looking at June 19th to 21st for North America WCQ happening in the Orange County Convention Center. Now, as that event, North American Nationals, was to happen today, it would be canceled. And here's why. Besides the fact that Disney is closing all the Disneys, which is a travesty in its own, recently, some dope from New York flew to Florida and found out mid-flight, oh, I have this virus, and then alerted the people on the plane. Of course, he got banned for it, but Florida obviously is starting to show more people with this virus, and they're more than likely will be calling for the banning of large-scale public events again. The only good thing about North America WCQ is that it's very far away. So from now until June 19th, we have until that ban can be lifted. Once again, the ban's not currently in place, I don't believe, in Orlando, Florida. I couldn't find nothing. But until that ban's lifted, if that event happened tomorrow, more than likely we will not have nationals. I do believe we will have nationals, though. I feel, in my honest opinion, I feel very confident we'll have nationals because Konami has these regionals. Now, let's say nationals does not happen in this year. What's Konami gonna do for the player base? I don't think Konami would just automatically go to everybody that has their invite, earn their invite, and go, what do you want from us? I don't think they would do that. Once again, they don't want to take another stock hit. More than likely, they want to have nationals, North America WCQ. But if they somehow don't, I believe that your invite for this year should roll over to the next year. Once again, let me pause it. I think your invite would roll over. Now, for you guys out there going, well, that's kind of dumb. If this was to happen, I don't think it's going to, by the way. Well, what would happen then? Being the fact that Konami lost so much money and they had to get rid of the UDS as well, so they might have a little extra money around. You know, not hosting regionals, they might have money around. Now holding YCS events, which Konami usually loses money. They more than likely would do something at a regional level for the players who already have their invite. Give them a little extra carrot on the stick. But if you don't have that, it's just not good to be you. So I do believe we would see Konami and with the NAWCQ firing this year, though. I do believe this is going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen in Europe. I don't think they're going to have nationals in Europe, which would be kind of weird. Or maybe some areas might. South America, I do believe South America will have nationals as well. But once again, June 5th to the 7th. And this is probably when we'll know when we're going to have nationals in America. If South America fires off, Central America fires off, if we see any of these one of these two events fire off, then it's more than likely we're going to be having nationals here in the States. So that's something to look forward to. I'm not even going to get to the YCS Minneapolis. I think it's way too early to tell if we're going to have that. Okay? So, future of the game. The Konami stock market is taking a pounding. I mean, think about it. 1 month, your Konami stock, and this is a month ago, by the way, your stock quote was at $39.44. It's currently, as of this past Friday, ending at $28.17 a share. That is a pounding. Another look at the quote. Once again, Konami's 3 months ago having a big high of, actually, I'll go over here. Doesn't have the 52-week, no, okay, here it is. Having a, I don't even see it. Okay, anyway. Having a high of roughly around, 460 a share, I'm seeing. Right? These are weird numbers. Anyway, nevertheless, the stock market is taking a pounding, down 35% That's pretty bad. And it's not just Konami, it's other gaming companies as well. As you can see over here, this post talking about Nintendo taking a hit, Sony taking a hit, Capcom, Konami, obviously right there next to Sega and Square Enix. They're all taking a hit. But we don't play card games from Capcom and Square Enix. Okay, this ain't UFS. This is the Konami stock. This is what we care about, and this is what Konami cares about. And that's important for all of us, because if Konami's taking a beating, they're gonna have to do a couple of things. One, they're gonna have to cut some heads off. Maybe Japanese, maybe literally, but realistically, they're gonna have to close some things down in order to make some money back. Two, they need to fire some things, like events, in order to get money. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you Yu-Gi-Oh! Is the make or break or the reason why the stock is dropping so low. I'm not gonna say that, but I will say it's definitely a contributor to the situation. You gotta realize, guys, Konami has a bunch of, they attend a bunch of gaming conferences like E3, and that got canceled. So the faith in that stock quote, the stock quote right now is at almost an all-time low. And it will continue this way for the next, I'm gonna say 2 weeks. More likely the stock will be dropping. To be honest with you, I don't really own any stock. I might buy into Konami stock because that's pretty dirt cheap. And I do think, and I do have faith that the Konami stock will go up in the future. So, what's gonna happen in the future of the game? Let's get to this point. We are right here, right now, and you want to look towards the future of the game. What I think is gonna happen? I think we are going to learn to deal with this virus, and I think as a community, as a society, we will learn to open events and run events, though have restrictions set in place to mitigate the risk of the virus. I do think we're gonna have some kind of risk assessment towards everyone coming into these events. I really do. Think about it. When people used to steal from Yu-Gi-Oh! Events, a lot by the way, what did Konami do? They sent security in their events to stop people from stealing. Did it stop everyone from stealing? No, did not say that. But it did mitigate that risk and made it so people cannot steal as much. Now, I think maybe they'll be, hopefully if we're lucky, they should be coming out with something in place, whether it's Konami themselves figuring something out, or another company, Konami just takes the idea, or even the government figures something in place to go, okay, by doing X and Y tests immediately, you will know if someone A has the virus or B has the ability to pass a virus, which is not yet activated in their system onto another person. By figuring those two things out, I think we can go back fully, everything back to normal, especially Yu-Gi-Oh! Events. And I do think in order for Konami to stop seeing their stock just take a nosedive, I think they're gonna try to figure something like that out. That's one thing, and I'll get to another thing they can do as well. For the virus itself, guys, if you're smoking, obesity, diabetic, if you had any kind of pre-existing medical conditions, and I think I'm the oldest Yu-Gi-Oh! Player around, elderly does not apply to us, but if you have any of these things, then this virus can be a little bit more harmful to you than it is to those young Yu-Gi-Oh! Players who love just working out and shuffling cards. We have so many of those. One thing I mentioned in the community tab of the channel as well, is the OTS Store Championship. Now, just like Eternity Code, my reasoning for Eternity Code, the fact that I do think it will fire off, Konami still needs to keep up with their Yu-Gi-Oh! Regionals. Let's say April 11th comes and or a bunch of states are like, nope, we're not getting rid of the banning on large crowds of X amount of players. So there's 250 people. I keep saying players because I think only Yu-Gi-Oh! But people. 250 people, 150 people, what have you. What can happen? Well, Konami can turn around and go, okay, here's what we can do. We can notify the stores that they can now hold store championship. Store championships average anywhere from 20 to 30. Obviously, you got the bigger locals holding 70 mans, which they're probably going to be capping if I had to guess. And Yu-Gi-Oh! Players can now play Yu-Gi-Oh! At a more higher than just regular local scale event at their locals. Why is this good? Because it benefits everybody in every shape or form in the game. Think about it. Konami will actually make some money. They need that. Stock needs to go up. The store owner can actually make some money. He needs that. Keep those doors open. Overhead's a bitch. And of course the players, we need that because we have so much invested into this game and we want to try out the decks that we're using right now. So I think in every which way, shape, or form, that will allow the players to play at a competitive level. When will we know this can happen? Well, scenario, once again, I think once we see about April 11th, it's Kissimmee, Florida, Louisville, Kentucky, which I might more likely will be going to, and Detroit or Detroit, Michigan regionals fire, any one of these three fires at April 11th, then I think we won't have the OTS World Championships. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna finish up what's left of the regional season. If none of these regionals happen, if this is still in effect, I think this is Konami's best bet to gather money for the company, gather interest in the game, which they need to always maintain interest. They know this already. And of course, take care of the OTS stores, which are hemorrhaging dollars in players not buying a new product, because what's the reason to buy a new product if you can't use that new product? What if I tell you all Yu-Gi-Oh events are canceled until the end of the year? Would you buy any product? Maybe you might, but is there a rush to buy product? Would there be a huge surge in value if a new product comes out between now and the end of the year? Would you be really excited about it? More than likely, a lot of places will not. And Konami knows this. This is plain as day to any card game company, especially Konami, with their plunging stock price. So I think Konami's gonna have to find a way to get that money back into the company. Konami CCD wants to show that they can earn money for the company. If you're not earning money, you're useless. If you're useless, you're out. Heads will roll. And in order for heads not to roll, I think this would be the more than likely this would be the situation. These will fire, OTS Store Championships will fire. It could even be a mixture of both. And I think, once again, let's say another scenario, these events do fire. What's gonna happen? And here's where it gets kind of crazy. So Detroit, Michigan had, I think it was last year if I'm not mistaken, had, I believe it was 1 or 2 regionals that they couldn't do because the area those regionals were being done at was being reworked. So what happened? For anyone going to the Columbus regionals, which wasn't far from Detroit, Michigan, that regionals which gets an average of 200 to 300 players averaging, got a little over 500 players for that regionals. So what I think is going to happen is, due to that fact that you were just draining all the events around, any events that will fire from now to the end of the season, which isn't, I mean, April 11th to April 26th, from now to the end of the season, if they do fire, we're gonna see a ton of factors that's gonna show a record, Konami, listen up, this is important, okay? Put your phone down, get on Facebook, listen here. A record-breaking number of players at these events, okay? Detroit missed 2, they hit 550 in Columbus, Ohio, breaking that record. How many is it gonna be missed over here? A ton. And we will see players circumnavigate themselves to these regionals to play the game. Because why? Let's see, we got a new balance, new Master of 5, new set being dual overload, and in the case of later on, possibly Eternity Code or the anticipation. Not even Eternity Code being released, the anticipation of Eternity Code. And that is what's going to increase the amount of players at your regionals. So, if you're Konami, once again, let's throw it back around. You're Konami, you do need to make money, but knowing that you will have record-breaking players at these regionals, what would you do? I'll tell you what I would do if I was Konami, because you want to break records. You need to make a ton of money back. You need to recoup all this. What do you do? That'd be simple. So I know Konami is really cheap on their price support. I think we all know this. We know for a fact that a lot of that the gap of, let's say, Kissimmee, Florida regionals, let's say they do like top 32, it's more than likely going to be like 48, if not top 64. Louisville, Kentucky, same thing. North Dakota, probably not. But Brooklyn, New York. I mean, all these places, I think we're going to see record-breaking amount of players. So obviously, the gap of top 32 with top 8 players actually getting a playmat that they're going to eBay, a deck box with top 4, I think that should be extended, okay? So instead of top 8, make it top 16. Hey, instead of top 16, make it top 32. Extend the amount of prize support that you're going to give to players for the rest of the season. Being the fact that you have extra playmats and deck boxes, call it a hunch, that you don't need. That's going to be staying there. For you guys that might not know this, I was talking to Konami at the UDS. They told me that whenever they do get playmats or deck boxes for regionals or whatever event, they buy in massive quantities to earn a huge discount, okay? So, I'm gonna guess you have a couple of playmats left over. I'm gonna guess you have a couple of deck boxes left over. Just call it a hunch once again. Could be anything. Why don't you just add them over here? Because we are gonna get record-breaking players at these events. I would not be surprised if these events, an event like the Kissimmee, Florida event, which can hold a maximum capacity of 600 players, I would not be surprised if that event caps. I know, I'll tell you right now, Louisville, Kentucky, that is going to cap. No question, that will cap at 400 players. They might try to get more plays in the Louisville, Kentucky event. Hopefully, if they could add another, usually they have like these walls at events that mostly like cubes, open 2 cubes for regionals. They might put a wall down and open more and have more table space for more players. Hopefully, we do not know this at the moment though. But I think if we was to have these regionals, this would happen. Once again, if that does not happen, Konami stuck with a ton of playmats, a ton of deck boxes. How do you make that into money? You hold OTS Store Championships. So we have, once again, the only event that looks feasibly decent that might fire off would be the North American World Championship qualifiers. Do not plan ahead. Do not buy a hotel. Just don't go through it. It's horrible. That's why I just want to throw it out there for you guys. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is the Yu-Gi-Oh market. So everyone's over here going, V, what's going on with the Yu-Gi-Oh market? Is there anything good to buy that's relatively new? And the correct answer, it will always be more than likely no. More than likely no, because Dual Overload we know is about to jump off. It's like the Konami stock quote. We know, and that's not good for Konami, by the way, obviously. Looking at the other sets, I think Konami's made a money on the majority. Looking for Yu-Gi-Oh, it's a game where it's quick value on the newer cards, and then the value gets thrown to the side. Obviously, there are certain times when you got cards like in Legendary Duelist Magical Hero that's gonna maintain some decent value, like Magician's Souls. It's still a decent valued card. Liquid Soldier, it's okay, I guess. I mean, they'll hold some value. They won't fully tank. But realistically, for competitive Yu-Gi-Oh players, there's no reason to have competitive Yu-Gi-Oh cards that are relatively new. And once again, I highly recommend you guys check out my podcast, link will be down below. But I go over cards that are not relatively new, that are still really good and will maintain great value. One card I'll tell you right now, it's gonna be Ultimate Rare Allure of Darkness. So Allure of Darkness, and I bought a playset of this card yesterday. And I wish I bought it a week ago because it was cheaper. And a week before that, it was cheaper. It was roughly around $50-something 2 weeks ago. A week ago, it was hovering around 60. You can still see the market price holding a $61 price point. And I bought mine, I believe it was, I think I got one like near 68, and then the other two at 73-ish, something around there. I spent a good penny on Ultimate Rare Allure of Darkness. This card's going to see play. It's going to see play in Moonlight, Shadows, maybe if they go pure, even the hybrid versions, I still think they'll see play. It's seen play before, last one in Thunder Dragons. And by the way, if you think the Dragons are dead, hey, the new set comes out, the Thunder Dragons get a new card, and with the ban list, we might even be able to see Colossus come back, hopefully, and that can make that see meta play, and that next sees meta play, this card goes back in as a good card. Not only that, but if a new set Konami releases, Allure of Darkness will possibly have that chance to maintain good value, being the fact that it will be played in that deck. It's just as good as Pot of Desires, just different conditional play. Oh yeah, and by the way, if you want to play Pot of Desires, you can, because why not? The card's that good. Look at Allure of Darkness Ultimate Rare at a Phantom of Darkness. The card is holding Lightning Play Unlimited at $90. After that one has sold, the next price point is $120 for the Neiman Unlimited copy of Allure of Darkness. By the way, if you want a first edition copy, just spend $5 extra per copy, and you can spend $125 for a first edition version of Allure of Darkness. These are the cards you need to focus on. When everyone's looking at the Dual Overload, and when everyone's focusing on the new sets, do not do that. That is the worst thing to do. Don't buy into the new set now, because the value is still dropping. In Dual Overload, we see it tanking. It's gonna spike this week, go back down, and it'll go down quickly, by the way. By next Wednesday, I'll go back into Dual Overload, and I'll sporadically grab cards from Dual Overload throughout the week. But I will definitely go into Dual Overload, and we can have a conversation about what cards to go in and grab. What is gonna go in and maintain good value? What is their cheap cards that are still good, but the meta hasn't caught up with them yet? And I think that's something very important to note with Dual Overload. I think with every set, but especially with the reprint sets, as they have shown time and time again, to go in and have these cards at the time weren't even looked at. I mean, Denko Sekka was around $1 for the Secret reprint, and it's up there right now. It's been up there for a while. It's showing spikes, but that's the Secret reprint of Denko Sekka. Even with the Ultra Rare being out, the Secret is still worth money. And that's because the reprinted version at the highest rarity, the hardest to get, those who everyone forgot about, then the market dried up and then they go, oh wait, I need it. Those are the ones people care about. And in hard to get high rarity cards like Ultimate Rare Allure of Darkness, possibly even Ghost Rare cards, I think these are the cards people should be focusing on right now, as far as where they want to invest in the game. Now, of course, if you want to play competitive, you need your competitive cards, you need your needle fibers, you need your anacondas, you need all that fun stuff. Of course, you're going to want to go and grab those cards, but don't grab them now. The market's about to throw up them. There's no reason on YCS besides locals. That's the only thing that would have these cards that you would need for locals. And if you're dropping $80 on $40 on a needle fiber to win a locals, your locals must be giving some crazy good price support. And let me know what it is in the comment section down below, because I'll probably go there and play for that price support. Anyway, Paisano, I really appreciate you guys listening to my video, watch my video. Thank you so much, guys. Stay safe out there. Don't go freak out because of this virus. Just realize that Konami is still working on something to have a plan implemented. I know people go, oh, Konami, but trust me, Konami's been losing a lot of money, and Konami wants your money to get some more money. But I do think Konami is a great company. I do think Konami is working on, obviously, number one, health and safety of the players, because if you die, players, they lose more money. You are needed alive to make money for them. So I think leaving Konami alone as far as that, I think Konami is doing a great job at stopping these events. I definitely agree with this sentiment a lot. I wish there was a testing in place now so we could have had these events, but unfortunately, since there's no testing in place at the event level, it makes perfect sense of what they're doing. So I think they're going to continue doing this. I think we'll see this up until we have some kind of, once again, a way to mitigate the risk of infection amongst obviously the Yu-Gi-Oh players and everybody else, you know, their family members and whatnot. But I do think the company will bounce back. I do think in time, business will open up again. Events will still fire again. Everything will go back to normal. It's just people realizing the situation they're currently in, being that there's a risk to get infection, and if there's a way to mitigate that risk, that will allow events to fire and business to open up faster. Anyway, Paisanos, I really appreciate you guys watching my video. Please make sure to subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Hit the like button, comment down below. It's your boy V, and you Paisanos have a safe day.